Coming up on the Sports Desk, we are so in these playoffs and the drama does not disappoint. See how North and South performed under the playoffs Friday night lights. Former Elko football coach John Featherstone is back in the Warriors' house for ECC's final home game as the field at Murdoch Stadium gets a new name. His name.
You guys get it. You're the guys that get it.
And not to be missed, I'm one-on-one with Coach Feather and his former coaching partner, Gene Engel.
I'm fired up right now.
The ECC men's soccer team has reason to be fired up too, while ECC's women's soccer squad finds a different fate. As did the Bishop Montgomery girls volleyball team, who did get so far in the process. How far have the South High girls tennis team gotten on their quest to be the CIF champ? We'll tell you. And no, spring isn't here yet, but the Tartars baseball squad is showing off their stuff for the kids. Yeah, we got the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Let's get things started right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Desk, your one source for all things Torrance sports. I am your host, Lesley Robins, bringing you a gateway to the brightest sports stars and hottest sports spots in Torrance. Before we get to the good stuff, we want to hear from you. Here are the social media stats. I'm at Leslie Mia. The show is at the Sports Desk TV. We've got email, Facebook. Tell us what's going on and what we need to know, because when it comes down to it, this show is all about you. Now let's get you in the know with some numbers. And just like that, 2 of our area football teams are off to the CIF Southern Section semifinals. Big games produced big results, and we were there. Let's start off with Melanie Chacon, who was with the Saxons for their Division IX quarterfinal game.
Thanks, Leslie. North High hosted Palm Springs tonight in the second round of the CIF playoffs and defeated the Indians 41-10. The Saxons will now face San Diego Mesa in the semifinals on Friday. Here are some of the highlights from tonight's game. On North's first drive of the game, freshman quarterback Trevor Lagarde pitches it out to Stephen Bradford Jr., and he busts loose for a 66-yard touchdown. 7-0 North. On the Saxons' next possession, Lagarde would throw an interception, which led to the Indians' first and only touchdown of the night from junior running back Arian Kapler, and it's tied at 7 after 1. In the second quarter, it's Bradford again. He goes to the outside and clears Palm Springs defenders for a 60-yard touchdown run. Bradford had 3 touchdowns in the first half, giving the Saxons a 21-7 lead. Moving into the third quarter, North's Denzel Alexander's 75-yard kickoff return would set the Saxons up for yet another Stephen Bradford Jr. touchdown. Then Lagarde finds Blake Banks for this impressive 70-yard touchdown pass, and the Saxons are beginning to run away with the game, leading Palm Springs 35-7. Later, North's sophomore linebacker Toa Ortega gets the interception, and the Saxons' offense is back on the field. Then Lagarde finds Denzel Alexander for a touchdown, and the Saxons roll.
Defensively, we've been solid all year long, and the kids have stepped up even more so in the playoffs. Last week, trying to keep those points off the board, which we did, and this week just giving up 10. That's awesome, because you're playing good teams in the playoffs, and our defense has been phenomenal.
We worked hard, what we have to do. We practice hard all through the week, so we just have to stay focused and motivated, So get ready for round 3. I just want to give it up to my line. I can't do it by myself. The holes was open, so just had to hit them, speed kills. So they need the whole team to tackle me.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah!
Now we take you to South High's quarterfinal game, where the Spartans rallied past Portola on a late touchdown to reach the semis. Cameron Stelly has more.
It was an exciting finish tonight here at South High against Portola, winning 17-16 with just 13 seconds left on the clock when quarterback Drew Nash connected with Cade Barger to put the Spartans on top and seal the win. South gets the ball first with Cade Jones in the backfield to return it, and on this drive, the Spartans aren't able to get into the end zone, but instead add 3 with a field goal from Drew Nash. Late in the second, the Bulldogs trying to respond, but the Spartans defense holds them to just a field goal, tying it up at 3. On the next drive, South would punt the ball away on down, so it's Portola's ball, and after a few costly penalties, the Bulldogs are in good field position. Then Bulldogs quarterback Brandon Yu drops back and throws a deep ball to Kaveh Wodowich, scoring the first touchdown of the night for Portola, just before half, making the score 10-3. After half, Portola, again capitalizing on penalties, gets this one in the end zone from a quarterback keep. But South defense came up with a crucial stop on a blocked extra point by Jackson Fish, making the score 16-3. In the fourth, South comes alive when quarterback Drew Nash runs up the middle for a big gain. Then later on in the same drive, Nash on the keep again and punches this one into the end zone, cutting the Bulldogs' lead 16-9. South defense stops the Bulldogs, so it's Spartans' ball, and Nash finds Barger to put them in scoring position. Then in the final seconds left of the game, Nash again, looking for a receiver, finds Barger in the end zone, this time for a touchdown to win it 17-16. Here's what the Spartans had to say about their exciting comeback.
First half, he came out a little slow, and went at halftime, got a great speech from our coach, like it's always, and just played hard.
The first half, we didn't play our game of football. Our second half mentality was just come out and not turn the ball over, not make stupid mistakes, and we did that in the second half. We pulled through. This team's great. We have this bond that'll never be broken between us, and it's a great win tonight.
That's kind of how you visualize those games. Even when you grow up and these kids are growing up, right, having the chance to win the game in a playoff game like that at home, it's pretty awesome.
Now heading over to ECC and one of their biggest games on the calendar. Not only was it the regular season finale and milk can game, but former football coach and icon John Featherstone was honored as the field inside Murdoch Stadium was renamed Featherstone Field. Later in the show, I'm one-on-one with Coach Feather, but right now, let's go to Justin Thompson, who was at the game and ceremony.
Thanks, Lesley. I'm here at El Camino College about an hour before the Warriors' homecoming football game for a very special ceremony. ECC is set to name their football field Featherstone Field in honor of an ECC icon, John Featherstone.
Coach Featherstone always encouraged our players to strive for excellence academically, athletically, and to pursue higher education.
There's no denying that Coach Featherstone is a Warrior through and through. He played football at ECC for 2 years and coached the team to a national championship in 1987 and a state championship in 2006. The official naming of Featherstone Field was a huge moment in the school's history and a great part of the homecoming weekend.
Yeah, he's a legend in the whole South Bay. He even, did a bunch of stuff for beach volleyball and volleyball. His daughters grew up and played collegiate volleyball. So it's not just football, it's just the impact on everything that Coach Featherstone's done. So having him back, having his family here, and having him forever remembered is something that's going to be that I will never forget. And obviously every new Warrior coming in won't forget that either. It's phenomenal. So we're excited. We just got to come back and win this game now.
But unfortunately, El Camino could not complete the comeback here today, losing by a final score of 42-40. Heartbreaking loss for the Warriors that takes them out of playoff contention, but they will have a bowl game next weekend. The Warriors offense moved the ball down the field very effectively their first possession, capping the long drive with a Raymond Graham touchdown to give ECC an early 7-0 lead. Cerritos would respond with a touchdown of their own, and the game was tied at 7 apiece after 1 quarter of play. Early second quarter, aggressive play from the Warriors defense here, trying to jump the route and come up with the interception, but it didn't work out that way. Instead, it was a long touchdown catch and run for the Falcons. The Warriors would respond though late in the second quarter. A sneaky play call here tricks the defense and gives Robert Farrell an easy walk-in touchdown to tie the game at 14. Cerritos would recapture the lead a few minutes later. With time expiring in the half, this deep touchdown pass would make it 21-14. After a Germán Gatoy fumble to start the second half, Cerritos took advantage of great starting field position to extend the lead to 28-14. But Gatoy would redeem himself the next drive, faking out the defense and keeping it himself, dancing into the end zone for the easy touchdown. On to the fourth quarter, with the Warriors down 8 points and some tough football from Raymond Graham, keeps those legs churning and gets into the end zone for his second touchdown of the day. After the game, we talked to Raymond about how much this game meant after his lengthy recovery from an injury he suffered last season.
It feels good, man. Rehab was very very stressful. You know, waking up at 6:30, you know, going to rehab, trying to rehab my knee. You know, it was real stressful. You know, some days, you know, I didn't want to get up. It was hard. You know, when I tore my ACL, I feel like, you know, my career was over. But, you know, God kept me on that good side, and I just kept working, you know, back to back.
Back to the game. After a kickoff return touchdown for Cerritos, ECC would respond with 3 minutes left in the game. Gatoy finds Dion Moore in the back of the end zone, but the Warriors wouldn't get the 2-point conversion, so the game would come down to this. 4th and 2 for Cerritos with 1:45 left, and they run a fake punt. The Warriors defense reacts, thinking that they stopped them short, but the ref said otherwise, awarding Cerritos a first down, and with no timeouts left, ECC had to watch the time tick away. 42-40, the final in this one. A painful loss for the Warriors, who will now set their sights on an upcoming bowl game.
Man, it was great. We really wanted to do it for them today. We disappointed that we let them down, but you know, Featherstone's a legend here, and it's an honor to play on this Featherstone field. We still got a bowl game next week. This is a tough one, but you know, we'll never stop fighting. That's what I'm gonna tell them. Got to leave on a good note.
Justin and the players mentioned that bowl game. Well, the official Southern California bowl game matchups are out, and El Camino is headed to the Patriotic Bowl at San Diego Mesa this coming weekend. Go get 'em, boys. Okay, coming up, I sit down with the man, myth, and ECC legend, Coach Featherstone, alongside his former second-in-command, Coach Gene Engel. Staying at Elko, how the end of the season looks for women's and men's soccer. The Lady Spartans come this close to the tennis finals. The Knights can't seal the deal on the volleyball courts either. Plus, the Tartars baseball team teaches the kids. Stay tuned.
First thing I told the kids is, hey, it's over with. Don't worry about it, okay? It's in the history. Hey, don't worry about that, okay? Let's just take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and everything will work itself out.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. Lesley Robins here. That was legendary ECC football coach John Featherstone back in 2015, sharing some of his words of wisdom with the Sports Desk, the very year he retired from coaching after 31 years at the school. In true Warrior fashion, Coach Feather has been battling the challenges that can arise in the later seasons of life. But as you'll now see, he still feels at home on the football field, a field that now bears his name. Coach Feather, a two-time National Coach of the Year, and Coach Gene Engel had been football's version of the Lone Ranger and Tonto for those 31 years, leading the Warriors through decades of success. I sat down with both of these great men days before the field was renamed in Coach Feather's honor.
Regardless of what the score says, what the clock says, that you're playing hard on every snap.
Coach Featherstone, Coach Engel, here we are at Murdoch Stadium. The field right in front of us is now going to be called Featherstone Field. Now tell me, how does that feel that you are so beloved in this community, the college, pretty much by everyone nearby?
Well, you know what? I've been very lucky, and we've been together. And we,
31 years, right, John?
30,
Coach, 31 years together.
Like brothers, yeah, right?
Yeah.
31 years together. We made a lot of memories in this place.
Yeah,
It looked a little different when we made the memories. It was the old Murdoch Stadium.
You have many accolades. Now, I'm just going to run down some of the awards and accomplishments that you've gathered throughout your years. A national championship here in 1987, a state championship in 2006, 11 conference championships, and you appeared in 19 bowl games. Tell me, Coach, what is the secret sauce that gets your players in all of those games?
You want to know? I just love the game. Every time I come in, when everybody starts coming in, I just get excited about the game. There's nothing like the game.
What do you love about the game? Break it down for me.
Well, as a man, I like hitting guys.
The physicality of the game, right?
What are some of the life lessons you think you instilled in your athletes?
Well, this game of football, you got to be a man.
Johnny spent a lot of time talking to the team throughout the season, throughout the week, special times together. Thursday night, he would spend an hour, almost an hour in the locker room talking to him about the game, but talking to him about life, becoming better men, better husbands, better fathers. And that's the bigger picture. It wasn't just winning games, as important that was, but to mature and become a productive member of society, you know, a loving husband and father, and be responsible and community leader. He instilled a lot of that into the players as he talked to them on a weekly basis. It was a constant message.
I think that's what sports is all about, the life lessons, just as much as the game, but the life lessons and what the athlete can carry with them after their career in sports.
You're right. Absolutely.
You are what they call a hometown hero. You started out at Maricosta in Manhattan Beach, then you played here at ECC, then you went down to San Diego State. You were a football star. You came back here, a star coach. So tell me, from Maricosta to ECC, San Diego, back to ECC, through all of that, where did you pick up all of your life lessons that you've passed on to your students?
You had some wonderful parents, though, Johnny. Your parents instilled a lot of that. He had two brothers, and there was that. I think a lot of Johnny was the middle brother, and being a little smaller in stature, he had to fight and strive to succeed and prove himself. And he was blessed with a lot of natural ability. But the drive and the passion to win and prove himself, I think a lot of times is because he was a little smaller and the middle child. But his parents were wonderful in raising him. Bill Cooper at Maricosta was a big influence. He was our coach at Maricosta. And then Ken Swearingen was the coach here at El Camino. And then Don Coryell was a big influence in his life at San Diego State.
And you're using the word we, so of course you guys were a pair.
We were a lot.
Take me through this relationship and how it's evolved over the years to where you are now.
Well, you know what, one of the great things, I was here 3 years with another coach, Jack Riley, who went on to the NFL and stuff, before John got here. And John came in as the head coach, but didn't lord that over me or the other staff. One of the things that Coach Feather has always done was made every member of his staff feel important and valued and had a voice. And even when he was extremely successful with his offense that he had been running prior to coming here, together we worked to put together a system, taking some of the stuff that I had at Stanford with Bill Walsh and he had with Coryell, and bring it together. So he didn't feel like he was above all of that. And there's a humility to Johnny through all the years. And when you talked about how does it feel to be a hometown hero, I think he probably feels it's a very humbling thing even for someone to say that, because he always conducted himself with humility.
Do those words, hometown hero, mean anything to you? Do you believe it? Do you feel it?
Oh, I can feel it, yeah.
And in a few days, you're going to have hundreds of people from the community here supporting you as they name this field after you.
It's going to be pretty special, huh?
Oh,
when you
gosh.
come down that field and they name the field for you, and then you have so many former players here. We're also honoring the all 70s and 80s, all decade teams. So a lot of those guys from the 80s teams, the 87 National Championship team will be here as well. And looking forward to seeing John and helping honor him.
So Coach, what do you think some of your former players would say about you as their coach from back in the day?
Well, I hope that a lot of the kids, to be with the kids. And if they're struggling or anything, it's that happens. We're gonna find a way to get in there and get it rolling again.
Let me interrupt you for a second. What you just said was perfect. We're going to find a way. Yeah. If there was one thing I think epitomized his entire coaching career, is the optimism, is that we're somehow going to find a way to win. I don't care how bad the game looks. I don't care how bad the circumstances. I don't care how many points behind. We're going to find a way to win. That's exactly what you used to tell the kids, didn't you?
One tick on that scoreboard, we're going to find a way to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he would pump them up on the sideline, just get them fired up. Believe in yourself, believe in the team, we're going to find a way. And many times we did, right?
We did.
We did most of the time.
I think that is one of the greatest life lessons you could pass on. Find a way.
Find a way.
Don't give up.
Find a way.
So 31 years you were here. What are some of your fondest memories of being on this campus, at this field?
Jerry, remember the play in 1987? This was one of the all-time plays. It was 4th and 10. We were down at that end coming this way against Long Beach, and Long Beach was ahead, and there was less than a minute to play. And Dan Speltz hit Ricky Wills on that pass, and 3 players hit Ricky, and they all fell down, and he stood there and ran all the way down for the touchdown to win the game.
That was
one of the great memories on this field, wasn't it?
Gosh.
Was it a bowl appearance, the state championship? What sticks out in your mind as the all-time achievement for you?
You know, football is a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I was lucky to love the game. I loved it. A lot of guys didn't want to go practice.
You love the practice.
I love the practice.
Too much sometimes. I wanted to go home. Practice was always high energy.
Yeah.
So even though they were long sometimes, John kept things moving, and he just had all this energy, just like the Energizer Bunny. And it got everybody else's energy up, even when you were dragging. He had a way of firing people up. You know, I think of the scene of Mel Gibson at Braveheart, right? When he was going back and forth in front of the troops, because they didn't want to fight, and then they charged and won the battle. That was John. He could do that. He could lead the troops into battle, and they would follow. He would get them so fired up they would follow him anyway.
I'm fired up right now. That's all I need.
We are fired up right now. Are you fired up right now?
Right now.
Well, I have an idea. I say we use that fire. Let's go throw some footballs. Show me what you know.
Okay.
You got it?
Right now?
You still got it, Johnny?
Right now.
I'm ready.
Ready to go. All right, let's go.
I'm with you.
So, Coach, here we are on the field, soon to be named after you. I have a ball. Pretend I'm your receiver.
Okay.
Okay.
Like this. Okay. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, fans. Here we go. I see him way up there. Okay, now remember. Yeah, take a look on your eyes. Come on. Okay. Yeah. Look at that. Hey! Hey! Here you go. You ready?
Ready. Tell me what to do.
Do it again. Yes! There it is.
That was good. Inspiring and an honor. Okay, coming up, more from Elko as we hit the pitch with the women's and men's soccer squads. Tough times on the South High tennis courts in the race for the CIF crown. The volleyball court wasn't too kind either to the Knights. And baseball is here, well, for the kids anyway. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Sports Desk. Lesley Robins here. Keeping the Elko love alive on this show, we join the women's soccer team again this week for their final home game of the season. But the ladies struggled to find their footwork that day against Mount San Antonio, leaving them 14, 13, and 4 overall, 2 and 6 in conference. Cameron Stelly has more.
El Camino women's soccer honored their sophomores Thursday for their last game of the season against Mount San Antonio, but unfortunately weren't able to pull off the win. It was a rough start for the Warriors as the Mounties put up all 4 goals in the first half. Jacqueline Coronado on the far left side shoots this one, but when goalie Kelly Gallagher and Carolyn Medina try to save it, Medina accidentally pushes this one into El Camino's own goal. Next goal comes from an assist from Emily Hernandez to Alyssa Gomez, who puts it into the net. The third goal comes from Karishma Soma near midfield, who takes a great shot on goal that flies just above Gallagher's fingertips. And the last goal of the game is a penalty kick from Leonie Sanchez, who sends this one in right past Gallagher. In the second half, El Camino made the necessary adjustments in order to compete with Mount San Antonio, but weren't able to put any numbers on the board. and the Mounties win it 4-0.
We knew going into this game that they were a pretty decent team. We knew it was going to be a pretty difficult game, kind of going into it. Sophomore day, I was hoping our sophomores are going to be a little more pumped up for the game. It didn't go our way in the first half. Injuries and stuff like that are kind of hurting us at times. We're missing some big players on our team through injuries, and it kind of just caught up to us towards the end of the season.
They scored 4 goals on us in the first half, and I just think that we could have had them if we would have just applied ourselves and played the way that we played in the second half, like the same in the first half.
The Warriors hope to get players healthy and have a better season next year.
The men's soccer squad capped off the regular season with a third-place finish at the inaugural South Coast Conference tournament with a 1-0 victory over East Los Angeles at home. The Warriors finished the year with a 13-2-5 overall record and begin playoffs action this week. Heading back to our high schools, the Lady Spartans, our last team standing in the CIF Southern Section girls tennis playoffs, had their dreams cut short while en route to the finals. Justin Thompson has more.
The South High girls tennis team facing off against Claremont in the CIF Division II semifinals. The Spartans had quite a journey to get to this point, beating Burbank handily in the first round and then narrowly pulling out wins against San Juan Hills and J. Sarah. South fell behind early in this semifinal matchup, but would fight back in the last round to tie it up at 9 sets apiece. With each team winning 9 sets, the match would be determined by the team that had won the most games, and in heartbreaking fashion, Claremont came out on top 86-83. South's #1 singles player shared her thoughts about the sets she played after the match.
My matches were both close. I just think a couple shots I made the difference, especially in the last tiebreak.
Despite the loss, South has seen significant improvement in their program since winning their first CIF title in 2014. From Division IV champs to Division II semifinalists in just 5 years. Certainly something the Spartans can be proud of.
The CIF State Regionals in girls volleyball began this week, and Bishop Montgomery was ready to go. But in the Division II playoffs, the 9th-seeded Knights fell to top-seeded Murrieta Valley 3-1. It went 20-25, 25-17, 25-14, 25-16. Looking ahead, Coach Terry Dewan is getting his team ready for the springtime by having the guys, your reigning Pioneer League champ, get kids ready to play baseball. Yes, the annual Torrance High baseball minicamp went down recently, and you know we were there.
Today is an annual camp that we hold on Veterans Day, and this is us at Torrance High trying to give back to our local Little League at Torrance Little League, and so we host a one-day camp that is run by my players at Torrance High School, all levels, and this is ages 5 to 13 here, and so we break the day up where we do some defense in the morning and then we do some offense in the afternoon, but it's an opportunity for my players to teach what they've learned to the local Little Leaguers. Depending on skill level, doesn't really matter. We can kind of tailor the camp toward kids of different ages and different levels of skill. So
here at Torrance Little League, I was actually in the camp that we're running today, so I've had some experience with it. So it's very fun to just have the kids come out and they're always smiling and laughing, and it's just good to see them having fun.
Played Torrance Little League here. I came to this camp when I was a kid, so it's just a great way for the community and to give back to these little kids.
So far it's been really fun hanging out with all the freshmen, varsity, and juniors that play at Torrance, and I just can't wait till I get to Torrance High and I can play.
So today we started just warming up, getting ready to do some drills, and hopefully we just get better at fielding and hitting and just get to play baseball.
Can't wait for spring. And that is going to do it for this episode. We will see you back here next week. In the meantime, here are the social media stats. I'm at Lesley Mia. The show is at the Sportsdesk TV. We've got email, Facebook. Be sure to keep in touch and take us behind your scenes. For everyone here at the Sports Desk, I'm Lesley Robins. Thanks for watching.